YouTube, it's your boy Black Chat, 3 long face, skinny body. We back to black with some more fire boys, anime, manga content. Now, for any video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, smash the like button, share video brands. We got Sasuke Resident Chapter 2 review. And let's talk about the shit, man. Or even after 2 chapters, bro, shit still holding up. Shit is fire, my guy. So let's go ahead and get into the business.
9 mountains and 8 seas make one world. 1,000 worlds make one chiliocosm. 1 chiliocosm to the power of 3. And there's nothing I can't cut.
So we kick off this chapter leaving off right kind of where we left off. Sasuke is still trying to figure out things that are going on in this prison in the land of Radaku. Now, for those of y'all who aren't familiar with the contents of the novel, just to give y'all the rundown, because chapter 1 kind of thrust a lot of people into the whole situation. Naruto, the 7th Hokage, my nigga Naruto, is dying of a chakra illness for having the tail beast too long. Similarly, the same type of chakra illness the Sage of Sixth Path was dying from. Now, the Sage of Sixth Path was able to discover a cure in this land of Radaku, specifically the island that the prison is on, which is why Sasuke is infiltrating this prison, going undercover as a prisoner. But now he's figuring out there's more things to this prison aside from just trying to figure out what connections the Sage of Sixth Path had to it. Now he's finding out the warden, of course. What other prison that has gonna have a secret mission is not gonna have a shady ass warden, you feel me? But the warden of this prison, his name is really slipping my mind right now, so give me a second, probably give me another chapter, at least I'm gonna have all these niggas' names down. But the warden of the prison is a sus nigga. He's been catching Sasuke's eye ever since Sasuke pulled up, and now this chapter, they're going into a little bit more details about why this nigga's a sus nigga. So at the end of chapter 1, this man Meno completely devoured this guy that was trying to escape with Sasuke in chapter 1. This guy was pestering Sasuke all chapter, like, yo, let's escape. Little did he know, this nigga Sasuke broke into the prison. Fuck breaking out, you feel me? So the guy eventually tries to break out of the prison without Sasuke, and we end off the chapter with this dinosaur being introduced. Sasuke comes to the conclusion he has to be a summoning by this warden. I really can't think of his name right now, and it's crazy to me, but he is you know, he's basically a summoning. That's what Sasuke comes to the conclusion, because he's trying to figure out how the fuck does this, you know, warden have this beast under this control. And we find out at the end of last chapter that the reason why the security of the prison on a surface level looks so lackadaisical and relaxed is because of this very sad dinosaur, and they call this nigga Meno. This nigga Meno is on top of everything. We see him starting off even this chapter standing on top of the dead prisoner's body, blood dripping down his claws, his mouth is completely covered in blood. This man looks vicious. And then Sasuke comes across another prisoner in this chapter, this nigga named Gigi. Gigi seemed like he got his head on his shoulders compared to the last nigga from last chapter, because he's not so hell-bent on trying to escape this place. He's just hell-bent on trying to stay alive, and he's kind of giving Sasuke the ins and outs of the things. Sasuke is asking a little bit of small questions here and there. Now Sasuke is really trying to think in the back of his head, what the fuck is up with this dinosaur-ass nigga, and how is this nigga, you know, the warden of the prison, able to keep this thing on a 24-hour surveillance? Sasuke is coming to the conclusion this man either have a shit ton of chakra, because he has to keep that summoning beast watching the prison 24/7. All the prisoners, all the guards know it's no point in trying to escape. Meno will catch you regardless. And Sasuke is trying to figure out how the fuck he's able to keep this thing summoned 24/7. And Sasuke is out here struggling with chakra as soon as he opens a portal with his fucking Rinnegan. And then mind you, just to give people, you know, another rundown, yes, both Naruto and Sasuke retain their prime peak powers at this point in time in the current timeline of the story. This is taking place unless the anime wants to take this story itself, Sasuke rested and adapt it into the chapter, take out some things and add some things into it. We know the Boruto series is famous for doing that, but in terms of manga and novel format, this story is taking place after the events of the Mujina Bandits, after Momoshiki arc, right before the events of coming across Kawaki, and before the Ishiki arc. So we understand Sasuke still has his Rinnegan, Naruto still has Kurama. Sasuke can't even really focus on the main reason why he came to this island, which is understanding some type of connection to the Sage of Six Paths in order to save this nigga Naruto's life. Now let's not forget, last chapter we see this nigga Naruto is in complete agony, my guy. Shikamaru having to, you know, watch over his shoulder, make sure Naruto doesn't collapse, make sure Naruto doesn't pass out while he's doing work, while he's in a Hokage office and shit like this. So Sasuke's on a little time frame, high key, even though we don't have the details as to how much longer does Naruto even have, you know, what are the exact conditions of Naruto's condition, you know, how long has it been going on, and what are we to expect going forward? Like, is Naruto going to be able to be mobile? Because we understand he's able to keep it up enough to where he's able to put on a poker face in public and not show anybody outside that that he's actually in pain and agony, versus figures like Sasuke, you know, Sakura, you know, Shikamaru, even my nigga Kakashi are already aware of the things that are going down with this nigga Naruto. But ever, Sasuke meets this guy Gigi. Gigi's learning all of the things about Sasuke that, you know, he wants to learn, and same thing vice versa with Sasuke, learning about the prison, the ins and outs, and understanding, okay, all right, this little motherfucking dinosaur thing be having 24/7 surveillance. If this so-called warden had this nigga under control, what type of summoning jutsu does he use? And then Sasuke is also trying to connect the fact that in the land of fire, things are done differently compared to the land of Radaku. He's even learning the traditional, you know, traditions when it comes to marriage and our customs, and even whatever cultural custom follows these similar traditions or have some type of parallel with, you know, the trading of rings to symbolize either a coming together connection of two people becoming one in form of marriage and shit like that. And we already know this nigga Sasuke, he's thinking back, all right, so that's what the ring meant. When he saw the ring, when he saved the old lady's shop, you know, they have a motherfucking female doctor pulling up in the prison. This nigga Gigi's geeked because he busted his blister while they was mining in the minefield. And now he's like, I get to go see the doctor, so I ain't even tripping. Shorty's like, well, let's not play the games, bro. Let's not play around. We know who I know who the doctor is. Now, for those of y'all who read this for the first time, I'm not really trying to spoil it, but it should be kind of obvious, especially from the silhouette in the manga. We should know who the doctor is, the female doctor is in Sasuke's manga, you feel me? So we're going to be introduced to that doctor later on. I'm hoping chapter 3. I don't know the exact details of the contents of the novel. Again, I'm going to say this, but I know the overarching story for the most part. So a lot of the main plot points I'm very familiar with, thanks to figures like to explain and just different articles and excerpts that I read online in regards to the Sasuke resident novel. This doctor, you know, got Gigi. He's gonna go ahead and get checked up in the infirmary, and this nigga Sasuke starts thinking about, you know, the traditions that symbolizes one being with the other, and you can already tell he's connecting things back to his family. Last chapter we seen him think back on both Sarada and Sakura. This chapter we see him thinking about, you know, the meaning of marriage and the meaning of what the ring could hold for both a husband and a wife. Now, even moving forward past all of that, this guy Sasuke comes running the ones with this nigga Meno. Now, this is the geekiest part of the chapter, because this man Sasuke just lets everybody know, like, everybody's freaked out about this dinosaur, everybody's geeked out about this dinosaur. This nigga Sasuke comes across this dinosaur, he's like, you know what, let me test this little nigga out myself. You know, he's just going crazy, pull out the kunai, chopping off this nigga claw. The dinosaur is fucked up off of Sasuke. He's looking at this nigga like, well, damn, you feel me, I'm out. And this dinosaur really dips. So Sasuke cuts off a couple of his claws. He gives it a brutal mark to across the chest with his kunai. And Sasuke's looking at the situation like, fuck, I ain't trying to mess up the dinosaur too bad, and I ain't trying to make it look like there's been a fight in the hallway. Mind you, Sasuke's sneaking out of his prison cell in order to find out like a little bit more of the funny business that's going on behind the scenes in the prison. He ends up really beating down this dinosaur, this nigga Meno, that has this notorious reputation in the prison. Sasuke beats the brakes off of this man, and then comes across the warden the very next day. Now, what throws Sasuke off is not the fact that the warden already figured out Sasuke's position, saying that, all right, he kind of knew it was him, but, you know, he need to watch his back if this is the type of moves he's going to be making. And the fact that he was the one who, you know, Meno came across the night before, and Sasuke had to obviously fight Meno. Now, when Sasuke sees Meno the next day, that's when shit starts to hit the fan. This nigga's completely fine. It look like he got healing abilities. And now, to my knowledge, healing abilities and regeneration, even though it became as normal to us, but in the Naruto series as a whole, it's not something that these niggas is passing around. You feel me? Like some chakra cloaks or some shit like that. Not anybody can just heal. And the mere fact that a summoning that Sasuke came to the conclusion, even so, just the regular beast or anything of that nature, tail beasts with the exception, because they're fucking pure balls of chakra, and even then you can still noticeably see the wounds and see the scars and see things like that. This beast completely grew its claws back. It completely took off all the scars across his face, all the scars across his chest, and now Sasuke's looking at the situation like, what the fuck is really going on? Now, me personally analyzing this thing, I'm looking at it like, now this is me speaking truly and genuinely. Maybe there's more than one Meno, because that nigga looked completely fine and honest. We're gonna have to take some time to get used to the way this mangaka goes, because we understand this is his debut in the Naruto series. But, you know, the paneling between Sasuke and the eye contact with Meno, even though we understand Meno isn't necessarily another human, so we can't really draw anything too much out of it. But I don't know, even animals are instinctual. When you see an animal and the animal see you, it has some type of altercation running with you, it's gonna have some type of remembrance, whether it's gonna look at you and be like, yeah, it's on sight, bitch ass nigga's gonna look at you and be like, all right, that nigga fucked me up. Meno had neither one of the two when it looked at Sasuke. It gazed at Sasuke, it just his normal menacing glaze, like, yeah, bitch ass nigga, you better not try to escape on some shit. Like, it's just doing this regular patrol, watching over these niggas that it know if it see a nigga running, it gotta get that nigga down. You feel me? On some shit like that. So now Sasuke's looking at the situation. I'm taking it as he's looking at it like, why the fuck is this thing healed? You know what? Fuck that. Not why is it healed. Is it possible that this is a whole nother different Meno? Sasuke possibly killed the Meno he came across last night, and now he's understanding what type of secret this, warden might have. We gotta also take into account this is Boruto era. Is this nigga running scientific ninja experiments? He got mad Menos up in the crib, just like how Orochimaru got mad Mitsuki's chilling in the crib and shit like that. He just popping out Menos after every time, a Meno dies, and there's not too many prisoners that can take on the Meno. So, probably on some longevity type of shit, after it just dies of natural progression, or dies probably it ate something it wasn't supposed to eat, he could just pull up another Meno. But now he see, all right, this other Meno from last night got his arm chopped off, it has a whole gash across his chest, cuts on his face. Yeah, this nigga ain't going back out like that, because then it's gonna start showing the prisoners weaknesses. It's gonna start showing the prisoners opportunity, and that's what this nigga Sasuke is providing. And I feel like that's what this nigga the warden is. I'm gonna have this nigga name down by the next video. But the warden is realizing this shit. All in all, man, I ain't gonna cap. Aside from chapter reviews, we're gonna have to start talking a little bit more about the things that are going down in the Sasuke Resident Naruto. So stay tuned for some more videos. It's your boy Black and Chia 3. Chapter 2, Sasuke Resident was fire. Came out earlier this morning. Leave your thoughts below. Leave your comments below. How do y'all feel about the chapter? And how do y'all feel about this nigga Sasuke just being this nigga Batman sensei as always, as he, is supposed to be, as he usually does be. You feel me? Leave your comments below. Leave your thoughts below. Thoughts on the entire chapter and thoughts on the video. Holla at your boy. Until my next video, I'm gonna holla at y'all back. Y'all, yes sir.
Hey, can we take a trip to the sky? Show them that our limit's too high. Cocoa butter hips on the west side. She said